of fun for you. If you were motivated by what Brandon T. Adams has to say, the good news is that your conference ticket has already paid for what could be an incredibly valuable experience in the last hour and a half, 2 hours that we had with them. As you know, we are videoing and filming this entire conference. You're going to have access to it. It's all on the IAHSP website. So when you get back and you go back home and you say, I want to feel that way again, I want to get that inspired again, you're simply able to go to the site, pull up that amazing work by Brandon T. Adams and say, you know what, I am going to make a video. I am going to brand myself. So that's included. We've got about 30 more seconds. Please make your way back and we will get rolling yet again. With the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. My name is Martha Louise. You can find me on Instagram at The Real Martha Louise. Since I'm here to brand myself, I'm going to take that opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Brandon Adams. Again, he has all of that is going to be on the video and the film that you'll be able to access from the IAHSP site. And I will say, I think there are only 2 tickets left to tonight's special dinner. If you would like to buy one of those last remaining tickets, please hop online or go see Jenny or Amy or anyone that can help you get those tickets. That dinner is tonight. Not only do you get to eat and drink, but you get to hang with him and with some other folks that are fantastic. So we also have, gonna drop tomorrow, our Atlanta tickets. And let me tell you, the program is not going to be identical in Atlanta. If you're here and you're enjoying what you hear, we've got bigger and better. Typically, Atlanta is a bigger conference. We're going to have different speakers, some of the same speakers, but with different topics. So it's absolutely imperative that you grab those tickets this weekend because the price will be lower for those of you who are here today. Let me say that again. Atlanta tickets are dropping tomorrow, and you're going to get a discount because you are in attendance today. So that is in July in Atlanta. Oh my God, I'm going to show up in a bathing suit. It's going to be hot. It is going to be hot. And if I wish I could move to that slide where they had me in the gold dress. My mother, I posted that. I took Brandon's advice. I posted that online. And I said, look, Ma, no tattoos. So I'm wearing this gold dress and this AI thing, and my hair's down to here, and I'm skinnier than I was in high school. And none of this showed. And so I'm like, oh, that's what I would have looked like. But you can tell it's AI because my right hand has 7 fingers. Okay, so when they say, count to 10, I'm way ahead of everybody, which is lovely. So Atlanta tickets going to drop this weekend. We've also got the VIP dinner, just a couple of spots left. And film is there. There are so many fun things happening tomorrow. We're going to give you a little taste of that here in a little bit. But right now, I want to ask a quick question. I've gotten the opportunity as a stager. I have been asked to do a couple of Airbnb installations. That's a different animal, isn't it? I mean, we are not just talking looking pretty. You have to be able to sit on the sofa. I mean, that's different. So I'm sure you all have your horror stories too. But I did a model home once, and we used the type of bed that you do in staging. It wasn't a blow-up bed. I learned my lesson on those. That's another story. Buy me a glass of wine and I'll tell you. But we used a mattress pad on just a, what's the foundation? The box spring. Thank you. Well, somebody let their kid jump on the bed. And the kid broke through the box spring. Who got in trouble? Me, right? Thank you for Stagers Insurance. So, doing the SDR, the short-term rentals, when you've got to have everything from spoons and coffee makers to actual beds, is a whole different animal. And boy, do we have some great experts on this topic today. Now, they have fantastic names that are sometimes hard to pronounce, and so is the name of their company. So I am going to do my best to introduce to you my friends Mitch and Luis Santiago from MDC. Come on up, gentlemen. Give them a round of applause and some clappers. All right, gentlemen. The slide is yours.
In here. Okay. So, thank you for having us. We're very excited to be on the stage. Both Mitchell and I have spoken at different events individually in the past. So this is the first time that we're actually doing a presentation together. So hopefully we won't interrupt each other too much and be able to get through the 40 minutes or so to start. So today we're going to be talking about adding STR outfittings to your home staging services and why this is important. A little bit about us and who we are. My name is Luis Mitchell, last name Boggy, not Beige. And
make that difficult.
Yeah, we own Maison de Campan, or MDC. We're located in Galveston, Texas, and we service the Galveston market and the greater Houston market. We are passionate about interior design and SDR, so we are really excited to be talking about this. And a little bit about our journey. We started the company back in 2018. We started with the idea of doing interior design and vacant home staging, and that's what we were primarily focusing on. We started closer to Houston, which is where we used to live. We're also married. That's another, so we're together, business partners, life partners. In 2019,
That's harder than it looks.
yes, we're very
I could do a course on that.
Yeah. So at the end of 2019, we decided to move to Galveston Island, and with the move, we decided to move our whole business to Galveston. So we had to get a new warehouse, we had to move out of our inventory, so it was a big investment, a big change, and then of course COVID hit in the beginning of 2020. When we were doing the move, Mitch was working on a big interior design job that was to be used as a short-term rental, which we finished in the first quarter of 2020. With COVID shut down, we started getting a lot of inquiries about doing short-term rentals. So we had been doing them as under the interior design umbrella, but we quickly realized that there was more that we could do and that we could customize our offerings and do an exclusive SDR offering for these investors that were buying in Galveston. So during the first weeks of the shutdown in Texas, it was only 2 weeks. So during those 2 weeks, we kind of got together and we rolled out our SDR services. And we kind of fully rolled it out by the summer of 2020. But at this point, we were already doing SDR jobs. We kind of structured it a little bit as we did with our vacant stagings or our staging jobs, where we offer restyle, refresh, or consultations only. And then we're also doing design only and the completely full service turnkey SDRs.
I like to call it like a mild to wild with clients.
Yes.
Because I have some clients that say, oh, well, we really just need a little bit of assistance. We don't want to throw everything into it, and we can't afford that. So we try to hit everyone's price points so that we can still retain those clients without sending them down the road saying, well, we only do full outfittings.
And we didn't want to stray too far from like our typical services because our clients already understood what we did. So we kind of wanted to just adjust them and make them SDR specific. So fast forward to the end of 2023, more than half of our revenue for our company comes from SDR projects. So we're still we completely phased out occupied stagings, and now we're just focusing on vacant stagings, interior design, and then SDR outfitting. So why was this important for us? Like, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, like diversification or diversifying your business is always key, because you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. If something happens, then what's going to happen with your livelihood? For us, it's even more important because we're married, so the company is our livelihood. Like if it doesn't work out, then we're kind of screwed. We both left very successful careers in other industries to pursue this, so this is it for us. And diversifying has been key for us. I'm also a realtor, so doing real estate and then our home staging, interior design, and now our SDR is how we live and how we're able to, do the things that we like, because we're
entrepreneurs
and we
calling the shots,
and we like nice things, and we're bougie, so like we need to make it work. Otherwise, we're kind of screwed. So by diversifying, we're able to, have more control over what kind of work we're doing. We're not having to like do every single job. We're able to choose what projects we want to work on. With home staging is very cyclical. So whenever it slows down, we're able to pick up interior design jobs, or we're able to do SDRs that do take a lot more work and are more heavy with the planning and with the logistics. So we're able to kind of fill our pipeline and not have to worry about the downside of the real estate market and the home staging slowing down, especially towards the end of the year. The winter months, staging kind of goes dead for us, but it's also the same case with our vacationers. Nobody wants to go vacation, so there's a lot more opportunity for us to go in and work on these vacation rentals while the market is slow. And then as spring hits, they can start getting back their guests, and then we can start doing staging, and then it just balances out. So it's been a great opportunity for us. So like I was saying, why add this? This is kind of like our sales point. A well-designed vacation rental, no matter the price point or the size, will increase that rental income and bookings by effectively maximize the return of investment of our clients, which ultimately is what they want. They want to make more money, and so do we. So we're making their properties beautiful, accessible, functional, so that their guests are happy to stay there over and over and over again. With a growing market, there is more and more competition for SDRs. A few years ago when COVID hit, it was a big boom. So many people came in and purchased properties for SDRs that now the market is saturated. So now it's not necessarily we're just servicing this growing market. Now we're trying to service a saturated market. So we're trying to do our services to set them apart from others.
Well, so I'll say that there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. And the plain ugly is just people that are like, oh yeah, bought me an investment property. I went on Facebook Marketplace. I filled that house full. That's chock full of stuff. And I only spent $1,000 on it. I'm like, well, let's see how that shit turns out in about 6 months, when all of your reviews are just like, oh, it stinks. It smells like urine. I mean, like, it's just, I tell people, this is a business. You run it as such, and it's a hospitality business. So we're all in hotels currently. So when we look around and we see like,
let's not talk about our experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a graphic that I found on AirDNA that shows the amount, like the growth of the SDR market since 2020. There's almost 400,000 more SDRs in 2023 than there was in 2020. And just as an example, in Galveston, which is our main market, we're currently at just over 7,000 SDRs. So it's grown, I think, over 3,000 or 4,000 SDRs were added in the last 3 years.
And that doesn't sound like much, but Galveston at the widest,
it's 2 miles.
2 miles wide.
It's 2 miles wide.
So, and a lot of that is wetland and protected lands. So that's a lot of Airbnbs and VRB or short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals, vacation rentals, whatever it is. But for us, really, that turning point was COVID, believe it or not. Before COVID, we both were kind of limping around and struggling. And then after COVID, with the shutdown and the boom of the STR market, that's really when we were able to kind of pivot and start doing this. And with the extra revenue that we were making with the STRs, we were able to reinvest into our staging services and like invest in higher, nicer quality inventory. We purchased a lot more inventory. So we were able to expand our vacant staging services through our STR.
Without taking out a loan.
Without getting into debt, without
getting cash.
So it's been really profitable for us, and we thank COVID for it. Like, believe it or not. I'll leave Mitch. This is all the design part. So, you know, for those that don't know, Mitch is the creative director, and then I handle the business. I do all the pricing, invoicing, all the behind the scenes marketing. So I'll leave that to them.
Yes. So staging to sell versus staging to rent, huge difference. Martha touched base on it. It was like, hey, you know, I can't really stick that same sofa, no blow up mirror mattress. We can't make it look pretty. It's got to function. So when we look at staging to sell, you know, we are looking at long-term versus a short-term. So short-term here is, hey, we're stagers, we are staging this property. It'll probably be staged in most cases 30 to 60 days at most. So, you know, we want the visual wow for someone. We still want to do that in a short-term rental, but we also have to add the functionality. Again, I was stressing before, it's a hospitality industry. Things have to hold up. So you can't be running out to, you know, Walmart or Target and trying to buy those large furniture pieces and expecting that those are going to last for a year, 2 years, 3 years. These are going to be heavily used. If you've ever had guests over that just don't appreciate your items that much, you know, people just run around and they'll throw their body down on a sofa, and you know, those cheaply made sofas, they're not going to hold up well. And you don't want your client calling you and saying, well, it looked great, but week 2, that sofa, the arm just broke off.
Or a bed.
Yeah. Or someone plops down on a bed, or you have a heavier set individual, because you have to cater to everyone. And you don't want those embarrassing moments where a client calls you and says, well, it looked beautiful, but it lasted a week. So, you know, those are major things.
And as a reference, we don't just put our staging inventory or our staging furniture into our STRs.
Yeah, so
we purchase everything specifically.
Yeah, so everything that is purchased for our staging is completely different than anything we purchase for STR. It's a completely different beast. Now, if we are talking artwork and accessories, those things, absolutely, those could be something. Let's say you've got inventory from your staging collection and you don't feel like ordering wholesale, or you're not looking to add items, you're looking to replace your staging inventory. Those are items that can absolutely be placed in an STR because those are non-touch items. People aren't going to be, you know, touching your artwork nowhere near like they would sitting on a sofa or sitting in a dining chair, sitting in an armchair. So, you know, those types of things can work. Personalization versus neutralization. You know, we talked before, you've heard today, we like the nice cream sofas. We like a nice neutral palette that will cater to multiple people. We somewhat want to do that in an STR sense, but we want to make it a personalized space. And when we do that, we're kind of, you know, we're invoking that idea of, oh, this is your vacation relaxation area. You know, if you, let's say you're in the mountains and you're doing mountain cottage, you don't want to put a white sofa in there because let's say it's rainy and we've got a lot of mud. That's not going to look pretty on day 2. So, you know, we're thinking of those types of personalization. We're almost creating it. I hate when people say like, oh, well, every STR has to be themed. Absolutely not. You know, if you're in Orlando and that is what your client is expecting and that's what you want to do, absolutely go for it. But not every STR needs to have a theme to it. When people walk into a space, they want to feel like they're going to, you know, the Ritz-Carlton and they're, you know, on Dorado Beach in Puerto Rico, and it is just luxurious. It's high quality. Everything looks amazing. I'm staying at a home in Martha's Vineyard, and it's not, oh, beach this way, and I've got flip-flops on the walls, and you know, not everyone needs that themed look.
And we stay away from that. That was one thing that we discussed when we first started this business. We said, do we want to take on all of this kitschy design jobs or the stairs, because we hate it personally. And we live in a coastal town.
Yeah.
And
It's like, if I'm doing a beach house, then I can see the ocean. I don't need to see a sign that says beach this way. I can look out the window and see the ocean.
so and you know, I show a lot of houses too, and it's like, oh, you know, the nets and the coral and the starfishes and like beach overkill, and we didn't want to do that. So we made a decision early on that we would want who our ideal clients would be. So whenever we get that inquiry, we ask those questions. What are your expectations? So we make sure that they align with what we want to do. So that's why I say like we're more like
Selective
on the kind of products that we do.
We don't necessarily, we don't take every job. I'm selective with clients. I do discovery calls just like we would do for an interior design job. If I feel that we're a great match, we kind of move forward. I'll tell clients, this is what I can offer. This is what I provide to my clients is 100% satisfaction guarantee. You know, you're gonna love the product that I provide you. And I mean, I'll just tell you, like I've had clients before say, well, now I don't want anyone in here. And they've turned it into a vacation home and they won't even rent it out. Because they're like, I don't want anyone in this. But, you know, this looks nicer than my home. So now I need you to go to Houston and redo my house. I guess we kind of covered those ones. So key components really for successful STR and midterm rentals. So short-term rental, midterm rental. Furniture and decor is essentials. Comfortable seating. You know, you're on vacation. I don't want to sit in something that looks like it should have come out of MoMA, you know, in New York. I don't want, you know, a chair that looks so fragile that I as a guest don't want to sit on it because I'm afraid it would break. So comfortable seating, bedding, mattress, linens. No one wants to go to a hotel and it feels like you've got scratchy sheets. I mean, it's exactly the same for a short-term rental.
Again, let's not talk about our experience.
I didn't bring it up. I just said no one wants to. So, you know, what we have to do is we have to be very precise on what products we are placing into this space, because every product should have a purpose. And those purposes is to drive that review up. Every 5-star review and every returned guest means that property is going to make even more money for your client's investment. So that return on investment pays itself off. My cost to that client is paid off when I give them a 5-star experience and they never have anyone complain. The products are great, they withstand a lot of use, and it still looks amazing at the end of the day when it's flipped for the next client. So if you're short on space, we have to really think function. So we have a lot of ADUs in California. You know, these may be a 200 square foot garage that was recreated into an additional dwelling. And, you know, if I've got a client that says, you know, I've got an efficiency, but I really want to get a sofa in there. So it takes a lot of spatial planning. This isn't just, you know, we're not creating, again, just a pretty picture. Yes, that is one piece of it, but we have to add to it. We have to have functionality. Who is our, you know, projected avatar? Avatars are going to be the people that we are focused, you know, we're laser dead set sights are on for our prospective clients for renting. So whenever we interview with those clients, okay, where are you located? What services and amenities are you looking to offer? Where are attractions to you and location? We do all that research, and that's part of what our clients love about us is, you know, we're looking out for them. We're telling them, okay, well, your expected avatar is X. It's a traveling nurse because you're within 2 blocks of a hospital, and this thing's going to stay booked. We're going to need desk and maybe a small sofa. We're going to need to make sure that they can cook or, you know, warm things up because, you know, they're going to be working long hours. They're going to want to come in and pop something in the microwave, get their dishes cleaned up quickly, and then go to bed. So, you know, we're always thinking of those aspects. We need to make sure that we are tapping into the key avatar that will stay in that space. That's where we have, you know, no vacancy. You know, we keep our vacancy level really
similar
high.
to when we're staging where you research the demographics, and we do the same for Airbnb.
But it's extremely key in this scenario because that is what gives us that success factor for our clients as well. Proper lighting in all areas. I'm sorry, I've kind of skipped over some of these. Kitchen stocked with essentials. So we offer packaging on things. We do things a little bit differently. Everyone this is where anyone, providing this service, you can tailor this project to however you feel comfortable. So what we do is we have a standard package that we offer people, and then we add on a la carte options. So I'll skip down. Balancing aesthetics with functionality. Again, here's where we're going to hit on it. Yeah, it can look pretty, but if it's non-functional, it's not great in the space. And now we're robbing real estate for your clients. Design with your target guest in mind. I kind of hit over that. I'm jumping all over here. Easy maintenance. That's a huge one. Because most of the people that are going to come to you for this service, they are not going to be living on site. They may not even be living in the same town as this property. As a matter of fact, 3/4 of our clients live out of town or out of state from where these properties are. So they can't quickly get in there and replace a sofa if it gets broken. So easy maintenance is, I want someone to be able to come in, flip that property, and have it look amazing for the next guest, just like I said before. Flexible and functional layout. We don't want something that looks very editorial. I mean, of course it'll photograph amazingly, but editorial doesn't always equal functional.
Yeah, and we've seen like this super like fancy ST or whatever, where they have these like puffy boucle and like the faux fur, like really bushy like rugs that are really thick, and that's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not, it looks amazing,
so
but then
don't stick a faux, what are they, the faux fur rug
dust collectors
on the floor. No STR maintenance company has a vacuum that can handle that, and they're not going to remove it from the space and shake it out. It's just not going to happen.
It's
going to be disgusting.
Yeah. And it's not
so it's again those things. You're thinking about longevity. Look at your hotel when you go in it tonight. Like look around. Like a lot of things have thought. They have, ergonomic and design and professionals that go through these hotels, and it's all about hospitality. Versatile, stylish, and durable designs. Again, they need to be eye-catching. They gotta hold up. Your client's going to be upset with you, and they're not going to do a referral. Every client that I have done an STR for has referred us. Every client, every single STR we have done has referred us already. Yeah, and again, like people have said before. A referral is worth more than anything. That's worth more to me than getting them to review us online, because that means they would do it all over again if they had to, and they would choose us for it. And if they're strong enough to know, I'll tell so-and-so that they need to go to them. No one likes to refer because I don't want to look like a bad guy when it turns sour. Multifunctional furniture, again, this is where, if, let's say it's I've done one where I had a console table and it quickly turns into, it's an office desk. If it's a small space, think multiple use in different scenarios. Clearly we know that a sofa can, come out into a convertible bed or, a pull-out sofa. But, think of furniture as multi-purpose, so that if you're dealing with small spaces, those types of things, you really have a big impact where you're not adding a desk somewhere where you don't really have the space. You may have a console that's against the wall, and that console could double as a writing desk. So, you could just have a couple of stools underneath it, just like you would in staging, or maybe a chair. Higher quality and durable surfaces that guests will touch. So this is a biggie for me, and this is where every client that I've had always says, oh my God, I love you for this. So if any of you have just gone to your hotel and let's say you've set something on the table or on the nightstand and it's a wood nightstand, what happens to that after, 10, 12 months? You get rings, you get veneers that start puffing up, and it just looks tacky. And so, these hotel companies have to swap it out. So your client doesn't want to swap it out in a couple of months, I'll tell you that. So we look for marble-topped end tables, marble-topped consoles, nightstands. Yes, marble, it can, we can create stains on it, but that's what you tell your client. Hey, make sure you seal it well. But it's going to hold up so much better than a veneer-topped anything. Solid wood. If we do solid wood on something, I make sure it's solid wood on a lot of products and not just a veneer top, because we want that consistent, high-quality look. And the owners are not going to want to replace something 6 months down the road after they've invested tens of thousands of dollars with your service.
Solid wood, heavy-duty beds, like to withstand.
Yeah, I think heavy duty beds. If you have a bed that it comes in and you're like, oh, I mean, if you're kind of looking at it like, well, this doesn't really feel solid. It's not. So it doesn't need to stay in that home.
And then like performance fabric couches, like anything that people are gonna sit, touch, lay down, put their feet on.
We use a lot of
it needs to withstand a lot of use, and that's pay attention to all that thing. So
yeah, I look at performance fabric slip covered sofas. It's like, geez, it's slip covered, is that not enough? No. So again, it goes back to comfort. I'll do feather and down filled chambered slip covered performance fabric sofas. I've got one I love. It's from Four Hands. It's the Habitat sofa. I think it was on our first page. It was one of the background pictures. Again, going into what to consider ideal guests for our property. That's where we're going in for our clients, saying, okay, we're researching who your ideal guest is. Is it going to be families? Let's say it's in a subdivision right on the ocean. On the west end of Galveston, it's really family driven. It's not individuals. It's not close to downtown Galveston where we have young professionals that come for the weekend and go, bar hopping and might go to a play or go to the art galleries. So, we have to keep that in mind. Skipping on me. What are we going slow? I'm going slow. I'm taking forever. So what to consider on layout? When it comes to STRs, travelers are always looking for the comforts of home and not so much a hotel. That's why people reach out for STRs. They want that experience where they just walk in and, like the day's over, I'm going to relax, I'm going to pour a glass of wine, I'm going to enjoy myself. A lot of people feel more, they feel comfortable at home. They have their best sleep at home. They don't have it in hotels. So we want to provide that. We want this to feel like it's an extension of their home. When we have that, that's when people relax. They come back. They've enjoyed the experience so much that they were a repeat customer to our clients. So what to consider here? Additional amenities that we always provide. Sorry, I hate when stuff like that happens. We call these things like a la carte menu items above our standard options, and it can come down to like, we'll stock the kitchen for you. Oh, did you want drapes and window coverings? We'll do that for you. So we can handle everything cradle to grave for our clients, especially if they're living out of country, out of state, even out of town. I have clients that are like, I don't even want to go down there. I just bought the house. We'll handle everything. Do you need outdoor furniture? Do you need fire extinguishers for everything? We're here to serve you and make this a completely hands-off approach if you need us to. So, and all of those things come with additional costs on our side, and we pass those right along to our client. So to wrap up, what to consider design with your client's target guest in mind. Again, do that research and make sure that your target avatar is going to be reached in any of those properties. Review competition in the area. I mean, doesn't everyone like to do that? When we sell houses, my husband does the same thing, and I'm on HAR, which is our local Houston Association of Realtors. That thing, every day, I've got it on my phone. It's probably like the second app currently open. I'll look through and see what competitors are doing. You do the same thing with an Airbnb or VRBO or whatever platform.
You have to know the market. You have to know what other properties look like, so that way you know that what you're doing is going to stand out from the rest.
So what I do is I pop on. I'm like, I know what neighborhood. Pull up that general vicinity of the neighborhood. I start looking. Oh, that's a nice house. Oh, that's got a lot of 5 stars. What are they offering? What does their taste level look like? Oh, looks like it came out of an Architectural Digest magazine. That's why. They have all these options. They are all the amenities that they're providing. And then I start looking like, okay, well, their average is 5 star. They've got loads of reviews. And then I start looking down the list, and I'm like, that went pretty bad pretty quick. And you'd be amazed at how bad it gets pretty quick. So that's why our services are so fundamental, and collecting that, that client, knowing that, hey, this service is going to improve my listing. It's going to make it stand out among all the rest, and it's really just blowing the competition out of the water for that neighborhood. I mean, even further in the neighborhood. Clutter-free and organized spaces will give the feeling of a clean and inviting rental. So here's a key one, because I've had clients before like, oh, everyone just loves my STR, but now it's like, it's starting to, I'm losing reviews. And so I'll say, what are those reviews coming back to you at? It's just like home staging when we ask our agents, hey, what's your negative feedback that you're getting? We want to fix that. So they'll say, well, they say it looks a little like something looks dated or it doesn't feel clean. And I'll walk into the space and they've got 50 million tchotchkes everywhere. And I was like, do you think that management company is going to be able to clean that in 2 hours, 3 hours? No. It would take them a week to clean all of this. And you need to flip it in a few hours. So we have to be very conscious about the products that we're placing in there. So, I don't go overboard on accessories everywhere because those accessories all need to be clean. I need someone going over that, whatever management company my client has at the end of the day, they're having to dust everything. And if they're not touching all of these items, at least every other stay for dusting, it just starts getting a little accumulation. And then, people get grossed out. I get grossed out about that kind of stuff. I'm like, oof. God.
We like our full plants, as you can see, but we try to place them strategically because they're also dust collectors.
Oh yeah, everyone knows.
Everyone knows. Like, they're just not gonna clean it as you would or as we would. So you have to pay attention to that.
Absolutely.
And then another thing with the design, he is very visual and so this is where I come in because I'm like the lazy guy. I like to lay down on the couch. I'm always like, I put my feet up on that couch. Is it gonna?
He's not a lay down. He's like on those ploppers.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
So I just feel like I bring that to the table, my experience, because apart from that, I said when we travel, what do we like? So think about that. Like if you're a person that likes the comfort of your home or that likes to travel but still miss that, think about it and put in it.
I'm just saying.
Put in the SDR the things that you like, that you're going to enjoy, as opposed to,
I know, wait, go back. I think there was that one thing I was going to. Oh, yeah. So, what I was going to touch on, accessories and artwork, because I had mentioned that with, anyone that has their staging company, and, you can utilize that artwork and accessories, flow plans, if you're trying to phase them out of your inventory. The thing that I like to do is I really focus on a high-low. So high quality, everything someone's touching, and I don't have to go necessarily, it's not low quality, but I'm not going with a high price point on items that are not going to be touched. So artwork shouldn't be touched that's on the walls. Most of the time, a lot of accessories that are on shelves, even on coffee tables, occasional tables, those are not going to get touched by your clients. They're not just going to pick things up all the time. So, I want to focus the budget on big ticket items, beds, nightstands, sofas, coffee tables, occasional. I want to focus all that quality there because that's what's going to get the most use. So design, again, where to invest, that was going into it. Well, it said on here, I'm sorry, I skipped through before people. So again, the resilient furnishings, I can't tell you enough, if there is an option for a performance fabric or leather, and I say leather, no vegan leather, sorry people, there may be people that are totally against leather if you don't promote it, unfortunately I'm going to sound like an ass, but you shouldn't be in this business, you shouldn't do interior design if you're like, oh, I only promote vegan leather. It's like, well, your client may not want that. So in an STR, no vegan leather. I don't want leather that starts peeling. That grosses people out. It grosses me out. I'm like, oof, what's on that? If it can't be wiped clean, what is it? What's there? We're post-COVID, so everyone's kind of crazy over stuff. You would see these posts where people were spraying Lysol on their front doors and it was discoloring them. So, just think of longevity. So those performance fabrics and top grain leather, not, semi hide leather, and all those things are just going to wear out too quickly. Tables and case goods should be sourced with minimal to no MDF. So I say this, I'm not saying, hey guys, you can't have any MDF, but medium density fiberboard in our area is extremely bad. Our typical humidity is between 70 and 90%. You know what MDF does in 70 to 90%? Yeah, it looks like it got fungus. It just kind of congeals and
It's
know.
very, and then
Yeah, it just and you don't want that. And neither do the guests, so the property for your client. So rugs, this is another one too. Like you can find such stylish rugs. You know, so many vendors. We're in the place to be when it comes to all of this. I purchase inexpensive rugs because those are the first things that are going to go. And I make it a rug that's nice and neutral. It isn't too crazy. I'm not going to stick a white rug in a house on the beach because it's just going to show everything, especially if it's a family with loads of kids. You know, I want to be very purposeful on the items that I'm selecting. So that's, again, where we're like stressing, hey, it's not really a home staging, a luxury home staging. We're truly looking at, hey, we're offering a service and this is for, we're moving beyond the staging point. We're now going into interior design and then with an emphasis on, hey, this is hotel. So we're now offering a service. Just think of yourself as a hotel. Source of the comfort of mind. Yeah, we've already talked about that. In general, anything will have people use. Oh yeah, so like mattresses. I mean,
mattresses are important.
Yeah.
Like do your research with mattresses because if someone doesn't have a good night's sleep, that's the thing that they're gonna remember. That's the thing that they're gonna
the
be
sheets,
complaining
the pillows, the mattress.
on the
Yeah,
reviews.
So I'm on vacation.
Do your
my back hurts.
research. Do the quality. But you can't be too hard. They can't be too soft.
Yeah.
Nice pillows and make sure that they know to change them often because pillows. We all know pillows and. So those are the key things that you have to think about, and we offer those on as add-on. Like we include some with our general package, and then we add more. We can talk about that.
Do you have a favorite one?
We do.
Yeah, I do. So
we can send out like a link or something. We have links of all of our favorite things that make it easier to reorder.
Yeah, so in that, it really helps if you're doing this hospitality, STR, MTR. Yeah, so really, I will say that the greatest thing about short-term, mid-term rentals is it's a little bit different than an interior design job because I'm not designing it for that client, and I'll tell them that. And if they yell at me, they're not my client. Again, they're not my client. I get to choose who I get to work with. Isn't that the greatest joy about our jobs?
We do give them a little bit, but we.
I'll tell my approach. So we take in the client's consideration. What I do initially is I'll always send out a questionnaire to a new client, and I'll have, hey, what aesthetic are you really trying to drive home with this property? And in most cases, my clients, have a great understanding of what they think would look great. And I'll say, hey, just send me an inspiration photo or give me an idea of the look you're trying to capture in this space. And that's all they get to tell me. And I run with the rest. So I create mood boards. I will lay out everything. So like this middle mood board is me selecting finishes for the home because I had a client in Dallas that was like, hey, I'm having a beach house built. The home builder is really bad at finishes and I need you to select everything. So I said, absolutely. I'll select exterior paint colors, exterior light fixtures, interior paint colors, flooring, and I added that as an additional feature. So that was an a la carte. Okay, let me select all the finishes for the house. And oh, by the way, I want every bathroom to be very independently styled. I want it all to differentiate from one another. I don't want it to feel matchy. I don't want it to feel like a track home build kind of thing. So I was like, problem. So we charged for each of those mood boards per each room. So again, that was another upcharge beyond outfitting the entire home. So that home, I kind of worked from cradle to grave with it. When the home builder was building it, I worked with the home builder, selecting all the finishes. I provided mood boards for everything. But in the aspect of mood boards, I'll tell that client again, I jump all over, Jesus, I'm a horrible presenter. So I'll essentially tell clients, okay, what aspect are you looking for? What kind of look are you trying to go with? And then, once I get that information, I will create that entire mood board. And I basically send that to the client and say, hey, give me your thoughts on this. I do allow one revision per mood board, which would be per room, essentially. I've never had a client revise. Never had one, oddly enough. I mean, that's a good thing. But that's how it's supposed to be. But
But yeah, once we get that design phase finished, then we get to the fun part, which is the planning and the logistics of it all. It's not fun at all.
Yeah, this is the shitty part of the job.
Yeah, we do with our typical like our standard packages, we include everything from all the main furnitures, accessories, rugs, lamps, bedding, waterproof mattress covers, pillow covers, everything. So we have to, once we get that design phase approved, we go ahead and purchase everything, and then have to track where everything is coming, receive everything, assemble it in our warehouse, and then we have to plan the installation. Now, this can be a month, 2 months, 3 months. We've had projects that last 6 months or more because of the logistics of it all. During COVID, it was extremely hard because we like to do wholesale purchases because we get more for our, bang for our buck, right? So during COVID, when the lead times was 7, 8 months, sometimes a year, it was really hard. So we were purchasing, whatever was available and trying to find good quality pieces. But now with the wholesale getting more, now we can order wholesale. So we get better quality for about the same or less money that we were spending before. So we're actually making more profit. This is something that we like to stress, the amount of boxes and trash that we go through when we do these projects. It's massive.
I mean, it's like when people do a big order
it's ridiculous.
For all of our staging companies, and we get these massive orders, and you just feel like, ooh.
But this is even worse because then we're bringing in mattresses, we're bringing in, if we're doing kitchen appliances, like we're doing bathrooms.
Small appliances, like countertop
appliances. The amount of plastic, the amount of boxes. So do not underestimate that when doing these jobs. And all the logistics of it, like making sure that you have a good tracking system to make when you order, where you ordered it, what's coming, what you have received, because things fall through the crack all the time. And we're a small company. We don't have 12 employees. It's just the two of us on our movers. So whenever we have to do these big installs, it can be crazy, and we're bickering, we're fighting, we're like doing, every
part of that marriage thing, and then we gotta go home.
And then we go home, and it's like, okay. So
never go to that
angry. It's a lot. Yeah. So this is kind of like what our process looks like. Mitch talked a little bit about it when we get the inquiry. We get, we have a really thorough intake form that we do. We usually like to do like a Zoom call with the client or a good call to just get to know them and ask all these questions. We've been able to do these projects without ever meeting our clients. Some of them, sometimes they're want to be a little bit more involved. But yeah, we go ahead, they send us pictures, they send us the blueprints, or we can go ahead and walk the property if it's in Galveston. We take measurements, we come together, we do the design phase. Usually takes like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how busy we are. And then once they get approved, we go to the ordering, all of that.
So the order process.
Once we order and then waiting for receiving, that can be weeks or months. So depending on what quality of stuff we're ordering. Then installation happens, and we don't install in 1 or 2 days. Our STR installs are usually at least a week, depending on how big of the project is. So we have to take that into consideration with our pricing and with our packaging, because we're spending literally 8-hour days at the house,
Well, that's our average.
Our average. Yeah. But again, it's just the two of us and the mover. So we schedule the moving, they drop everything in on one day, and then we go in and arrange. Like if we have to assemble, sometimes we're still assembling things in the house. So it takes a lot. Now, if we had more people, maybe, but then we would have to raise our prices more, because then you have to figure that out into your pricing scheme, because it has to make sense for you. It is a lot of work. For those of you that do it, I don't know if a lot of you do.
Who all does it? Sorry.
So
all of you are like, oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's pain.
So if you do like full like turnkey SDRs, you know, we've done like the refresh ones where we go and we can do that in a day or two. We can bring in our stuff, refresh, bring in new things. But when you do this full size, like turnkey SDRs and you're doing every single room, you're adding window treatments, you're adding TVs, we're doing.
Well, so, and I'll say like when we do, the majority of our clients pretty much load up the a la carte list. Yeah. So we're doing quite a bit. Day one, I'll explain to clients, hey, day one, we're going to come in and we're going to hang all of those drapes, all those window coverings. They're all going to go in on day one. We don't want those, you know, messed with after we bring all the furniture in. We don't want to take the chance that something gets damaged or broken, because then I just delay my client's timeline, or I'm having to find a replacement somewhere that may not be the same exact product. So we create that timeline, and then like day 5 is photography.
We have to set the expectation so that they're not like, well, when is it going to be?
Yeah.
Now,
this all happen in a day.
And then we're doing a lot of like newer homes that are being built, and that's another like whole can of worms, because then we have to deal with the city inspector, we have to deal with delays because of construction. So if you plan, we plan ahead of time, and we're not like, okay, maybe this is, rarely ever we get to do the installation when we originally planned. And then we have to deal with, we have, you know, vacant stagings, and it's just very like management balancing a lot. But back to this. So to make it easier for our clients in the beginning, like I said, we were doing interior design, so we were charging hourly and doing small packages. And this just like, we got questioned a lot. Oh, but where did you spend all this hours? Where did you do this?
And I don't like answering that.
And then it just opened up.
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Open up.
I don't know how long it's going to take.
And he got
You keep sending me, you know, like changes and changes.
He would get annoyed, and then I would have to deal with them and explain and send an invoice. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. So we came to an agreement to do more of a package pricing, where we do kind of a all-inclusive with that one package pricing. And the way that we kind of got to that point was like, since we had already done a few that were full turnkey, we said like on average we're spending all of this amount in kitchen appliance and like stock in kitchen.
We were able to calculate.
So we came up with a number that we thought, okay, this is enough to purchase everything plus build in a good profit for us and to pay for the hours that we're spending. And then we add on to it additional. Window treatments are an add-on. Kitchen stocking is an add-on. Bathroom stocking is an add-on.
Audio visual.
If they want additional
patio
linens,
furniture,
that's an add-on. Outdoor furniture, that's an add-on. We don't include outdoor furniture with our standard. We only do the interior and accessories and, you know, the typical stuff. Now we have implemented a good, better, best type deal where we have a starting pricing for each, and then we always provide the best quality regardless of whether you do good, better, best. But we go a little bit extra with the other, you know, we do nicer artwork where we would do a little bit more accessories.
So here's the, because we've got so little time. So we packaged ours so that I can quote a client within an hour. Yeah. And this could be an $80,000, $90,000 project, and I can quote it in an hour. I made it very simple, and we have worked on that so much that with the way we package it, it's so simple for a client that's why we get so many clients that sign on, because it's not, you got to go here, and I would charge for this extra. We package price it, and I'm just telling them, I'm like, hey, it's going to be $500 per window. If you want a window covering plus drapes on each side, they're going to be washable drapes. They're going to be high quality. They're going to be going all the way to the ceiling. It's a 10-foot ceiling. I'm going to make them look amazing. I mean, like, then they're just like, oh, okay, great.
It's just easier for us to explain and justify versus saying like, oh, I work by the hour and I estimate it's going to be 100 hours, you know, and then they'll be like, but what are you going to spend 100 hours on? I could do this in a day. And it's like, and we will tell them like, well, you do it in a day. And then and we send them pictures throughout the entire process so they see what we're doing. They see the mountain of boxes, and it's like, oh, look how much work we save you by doing this. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're so grateful that we did it and we were able to knock it out in a week, maybe two, depending on things. But yeah, we do the good, better, best. We do have a minimum that we won't take any jobs for less than that. It's $20,000, and this is for like just the basics. So we have to think about our bottom line, and we have to think about what makes sense for us. So we won't take jobs that if we get a call and say, oh yeah, I have a $5,000 budget, we just tell them, unfortunately, we can't work with that. So you have to be comfortable to say no. You just, at the beginning, yeah, you kind of like want to get this going, but maybe offer them like a refresh, not a full like build out thing.
Provide insight.
Yeah, just like with the $5,000.
You can do a consult and charge them $300 to $500 and just
offer
get them
them
in the right direction. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't want to turn clients away ever. So we do consults and I'll do refreshes for clients, but the majority of our clients purchase these properties as an investment and they want them to turn a profit quickly. So, we tell them it's not cheap,
And the majority understand, yes. But then when there's like a tight budget or something, then we offer them a consult, and then Mitch will offer them a mood board. And he was like, well, you can do this. This is what I would do. And then we kind of sell them the design and include all the purchase links, and then they can buy it at their own time, and they don't have to rely on us. Now, if they want us to do everything, we'll certainly we can do that. But we explain to them, this is not going to be a 2-week turnaround. It's going to be at least 30 days, 45 days, if not more, depending on how busy we are, because we still have to pump out our design jobs. We do our vacant staging, so he can't work on designing the STR every day, and I'm not allowed to do it. So,
well, that's a no-brainer.
I'm not allowed to do it. So
when I first met him, he had a lovely shade of it was like a cowhide brown, overstuffed sectional. Then every section reclined. It looked like shit. And he was dead set on not getting rid of that bastard. I was like,
I miss it. But
it's every interior designer's nightmare when it's like, oh, we have a new client. And they're like, we just bought this amazing lazy boy, and it's got an armrest with a drink
had it for
cooler.
years.
And you're like,
my dogs and I loved it. But then he came to my house and and he told me I had no taste and that I had to get rid of it. I was like, okay. But 12 years later,
it was boring. It looked bad.
Well, if you guys want to follow us, we're always happy to answer any questions. We're very open with how we do things. We're in Galveston, MDC Fine Living, MDC. That's our social media. We're always happy to. Yes, June?
You have time for one question?
Yes.
I live in a very similar area, near Island, Florida. And during COVID, I did a ton of SDRs. My point being, it's limited. There's only so much, land.
Yeah.
Have we peaked? Did STRs peak? I mean, they just can't build anymore.
Yeah.
And did we have a bubble, and now we have to watch this?
No, we have to kind of compete in the saturated market, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. We had a big boom in Galveston where the amount of SDRs kind of doubled, but right now, right now you see so many people selling, and it's because they're not performing.
They
bought at the high of the market.
They were the Facebook marketplacers, like, oh, I'm gonna make a gaggle of money, and I'm gonna spend $1,000.
Yep. They haven't seen that, and then we have a client that he did buy sight unseen, and then he called us. Was like, I don't like it. What can I do? And then we completely did it, and then he really liked it so much that he turned around and sold it for a profit, fully furnished. So I was like, okay.
As a ready to go property.
But that's kind of like
after our charges, he still turned a profit on that property. It's a successful STR currently.
And we've turned our marketing, we switched from get your STR ready, because it was booming. Now it's how to set themselves apart in a competitive market, because it's so saturated. It's like in Galveston is saturated, Houston is saturated. So there's not many new ones coming, but then the ones that are, they need to stand apart. And that's where we come in, and that's kind of how we're selling.
So we have, in many areas, it has peaked and it's coming down. Yeah. But what we have to do is we have to set ourselves apart. And that's where, just like a professional home staging company, professional short-term and mid-term rental, outfitting, that's what sets you apart from others, and it will continue to thrive. So I will say, when we started to offer this and we decided to, We have a historic home in Galveston, and we had a guest house that we never used, and we were like, well, if we're gonna say we're the pros at STRs,
Let's do our own.
let's back it up, with some data. So we created our own short-term rental, and we have been 5-star host for how many
4
years?
years.
4 years, and we have an enormous amount of repeat clients. We know the type of mattresses they love. We know, hey, we give them premium coffee, so we do an espresso machine over a Keurig because the Keurig is it's inexpensive and everyone has one.
That set you apart, and that's what whenever we get and then the fact that a lot of our clients are like, well, they call us back and they're like, well, my guest wants to know where you bought this or so that opens up a complete other avenue of profit, because then we've started incorporating links that we get paid for revenue, or if they purchase from our
affiliate links.
So affiliate links, yeah. So, and it's come to the point now where they've asked us to create QR codes with the links that they can include on the property itself. So whenever a client, they can just tell scan
shop.
that. Yeah.
So they can shop the products that are in the house, and we make money on it.
So
we actually, I will say, I know we're out of time, but so we
can talk about this all day long.
We partnered with an influencer. Yeah. She has a ton of followers, and that's the whole deal. She was like, I'm going to pay for every bit that you just charged me with all of my followers. Yes. And as soon as we finished, she just started dropping links, and she was like, I already paid for it.
Yeah, and we
already paid for everything that you just charged me on this house.
So we're missing on a lot. I know Birgit does it with the shop, to know it or whatever, and we're missing a lot of that. We started doing it, and then we stopped. There's a lot. I'm sorry, but yeah, get in touch with us. We're always happy to answer questions. If there's anything other, we'll be around. So thank you so much.
We're long talkers.
Sorry, we're very long.
Fantastic. Thank you guys. That was terrific. That was fabulous. I love it. So confession, guys.